Hey, what's up, guys? It's BullBossJosh. I'm here on Nerds After Dark. Just had an amazing interview. You're definitely going to want to check it out. Along with all my socials, BullBossJosh on Twitter, Bullpen series on Twitter, my new Content House series, where we get amazingly sexy men and women together in one place and produce some super hot Canadian content. You don't want to miss that. My Instagram page at bull_boss_Josh. But everything can be found at bullbossjosh.com. So all of my socials are there. All the links to basically every single thing I do, including my replica dildo, which you definitely want to get. So make sure you hit that up and don't miss my interview here on Nerds After Dark.
Uno, dos, uno, dos, tres.
Pose. Pretty.
Uno, dos, tres.
Pose.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Tito P. This is the Nerds After Dark show. After Dark Nerds on YouTube as well as Instagram, Twitter. Please show love, follow, do all the things. Today, I have another amazing guest, a sexy guest. You see the background. We're repping BullBossJosh in the building, straight out of Canada. This man is one of those kind of cats that if he was in my friend group, I'd call him greedy because he goes all the way around. You know what I'm saying? He's pulling the dudes, he's pulling the girls. I'm like, man, can you save stuff for us, Josh? You look too damn good. Save
thank
stuff
you,
for
baby.
us. Anyway, you don't want to see me. Let's have some fun. He's on the screen. There you go. BullBossJosh in the building. Josh, thank you so much for your time. You'd be a loved member of the group, but we'd just be jealous of you because look at you. Just come on, man.
Oh, please. Oh, you're too kind. You're being far too kind. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, by the way. This is a treat.
Definitely. So, welcome. As you, I don't know if you've seen a previous episode, but I used to work in the adult game. I used to run crew. That's how I kicked myself off as a filmmaker, and just had a lot of fun on adult sets. But then, as I started, I guess, going mainstream, working on more mainstream productions, I had to like kind of walk away a little bit. But I always had the best of friends and then the most realest people, because there's a lot of fakes in the mainstream industry. I'm sure you know. There's also fakes, I'm sure, in the adult industry as well. But
Oh,
I
there
just,
sure are. Yeah.
but I feel love and I just get, I have a lot of real friends in this industry, so I always love to go back and show love, because I cover entertainment here on the radio in the DC area, and a lot of times they're like, please don't bring up the adult stuff, but I'm like, come on, man, how do you think we got here? So I still got a love for the industry. And I love to highlight and spotlight my friends making waves, crossing over, doing all the things, because I'm I'm just about spreading love and just giving everybody their flowers. So, Josh, I'm excited to meet you. Shout out to my pal Erica Icon over at the Rub PR. She is the best. I've known her for years. And
She's amazing.
Yes. So let's talk about you, my friend. You went viral, from what I understand. It's kind of how you got your kickoff into the business, if you will. Kind of in the script, not really showing your face, but post yourself, and then everybody was like, man, my man Stang is stanging. And then you just started sprouting off. Can you tell me how you kind of got your start in the industry, sir?
Yeah, sure. We could talk about that. So so I started perusing Twitter for porn, like most people should be anyway, because that's really what it's best for. And it was like a sexual outlet for me. I was looking at all these creators that had come up through the pandemic, right? 2020 through 2022, everything was exploding on OnlyFans. Everybody was doing OnlyFans. And so when you go onto a place like Twitter porn or any social media platform that's not safe for work like that, you're going to see a lot of creators. And I was like, man, I can do that. I could post my dick on there. Like, I got a pretty nice dick. I could post it and who knows what would happen, right? Like, I didn't really think anything of it. And so in my personal life, I was, I like to be creative, and I was using a shower head. This is the video that you're referencing, and it was just shower head spray nozzle thing on my dick. And I came that way, and I posted the video, not really thinking anything of it. But within that first week, it got like 500,000 views or something like that, which is crazy. I had less than 100 followers on my Twitter, like nobody.
Wow.
And so it just blew up, and there was like 10,000 followers in the first month or something, and then people just started asking over and over again, when are you going to start putting out more exclusive stuff? Where can I see your face? Because I wasn't showing anything except my dick back then. And so it just kind of like naturally evolved, I guess. I put out the OnlyFans. I started trying to, funnel people in like one does. And then it just kind of kept going. That was the start of it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Congrats on that that wild build. So were you always, I guess, a sexually free person that and didn't mind that? Was this the first time you posted, or I don't know if you already said it, my apologies if I did, but it went viral, right? So how did this
Right.
come about? Were you in your relationships very open with your sexuality? So there was no nervousness on being found out or anything like that?
There was definitely nervousness about being found out. Like in terms of being a creator, there still is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, I mean, I'm here doing podcasts and I'm putting myself out there everywhere, but I still, like the closest people to me in my family and my friend circles don't know about this yet. So that was always an element, especially at first. It was like at first, no way, no way. I don't want anyone to know about this, only because I just was afraid it would affect my relationships. I thought it would affect my work. I didn't want to get fired from my day job. I didn't want to be shunned from, the nerdy things that I do in my spare time, which we'll touch on in a little bit. But like, that's always been a fear. But if I wanted to continue to grow and evolve in this industry and do more, because you can't just do the same thing over and over again. I can't just post showerhead videos over and over again. I would love if that was the reality. That's easy,
Yeah.
but it's just not the case. So things had to grow and change. And essentially, I've just kind of learned to accept this. And I love this work and I love this industry and I love the people that I've met in this industry. I wouldn't change any of that. And I'm not ashamed of it. And people have found out in my circles. It's crept into my life a little bit, just here and there. And it's fine. And it's been fine. And there hasn't been the big blow up that I was afraid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like at first there was definitely a lot of fear, and that was the motivation to not show myself, show my face. But as things evolved and I started to show it more and more opportunities presented themselves, and it was like, oh, okay, well, sure, let's just see where this goes. Let's just go on this roller coaster and see where it ends up.
Yeah. And I love that for you. And I hope for you as well, for those that aren't aware, that the people that we care about, that they'll care about you. And if not, you have, it's such a wild thing, that we traverse, especially, in regards to this adult industry and people being open with their sexuality and not, and just, I just hope for those that, enter my circle. Now you're in my circle, so I care about you, Josh, that you get that same love all the way around, because we all deserve that
Well,
in our
hopefully.
lives. Yeah.
I would hope so too. And then it depends too, like on where you live, depending on like for example, so I just moved to a bigger city out here in Western Canada, but I was living in a very small town, and a very small like redneck town.
Mm.
And so and being bisexual or omnisexual, as I like to say,
Greedy is what I like to say.
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, well, I'll take that. That's fine. I'll own it. I'll own that.
There's nothing but
it's
love there, sir.
yeah, of course, of course. There is a concern a little bit about how that what's the term I'm looking for? Like, there's a concern, at least on my part, about how it looks when it comes out in those towns, because
Yeah.
living where I live now, or living in like a Pornhub center like LA or Miami or anything, like nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
But when you live in a little, it's this is like living in like Bible Belt,
Oh, yeah.
southern US, you know what I mean? So it is impactful when that information gets out in a way that you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of the hesitation for really wanting to conceal it. But again, as time went on and I evolved, I just cared less. I just don't give a shit less. Like what's the worst that's going to happen? I mean,
Exactly.
maybe I lost a day job, maybe I just get a different job. I mean, it's like life goes on, and it's too late anyway. It's already out there.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere anytime soon, so I might as well just go with it, right?
Definitely. Yeah. As I got older, gained more of a give a fuck attitude. You know, the people that
Yeah,
love me all the
that's
way
right.
around. So definitely, and sending nothing but love to you, Josh, so that you get that full circle love all the
Well,
way
thank you.
around.
Likewise.
Thank you, sir. So we're in it. We're showing our face now. We decided to do that and venture off into different platforms. Like you have said, you have OnlyFans. You're now recording yourself. And can we talk about that? Were you recording yourself performing with other people before in a private way, just for yourself, and then now recording it for an audience? And what was that transition like in many ways?
So I had spent some time in open relationships, and so I wasn't a stranger to putting myself out there online, even in a concealed way. But showing myself in that light, and then participating in some pretty fun activities, depending on the partner and the people that we met. So I was never shy around other people. But when I started making content, it was never the intention at first, at least, to create porn. It was only just to use it as my own sexual outlet to post things that I thought were sexy. And then to just feel good about that. That was it. But then as it grew, it evolved, and then I started considering working with other people. And so I started doing things like edging videos, like chair edging videos with some pretty big edging names in the edging industry, and then it just continued to evolve. I had a lot of interest, especially in the gay community, and a ton of interest. And it was just I was limited by where I lived and how hard it is to travel from where I was, because it wasn't just about living in a small little town. It was living in a small little town, isolated, very far away from like major airports and that kind
Oh
of stuff.
yeah, so
So
you had to get
so
talent.
very, very limited.
Business side came a part of it.
Yeah, it was literally impossible in most cases to collaborate. So I've had to work hard to do that. I've had to travel far. Like I've drive 5 hours to take two flights to get to LA, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And so, and now with the political climate, kind of the way it is, there's a little more hesitancy to want to just pack up and fly to the US.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of what the Bullpen is about, my content house series and my production company that I now run here in Canada. If we touch on that a little bit, just to give you some insight, it's it's a way to unite Canadian creators who may be facing the same struggles. I know some firsthand who have been like flagged at the border and turned away and can no longer travel to the United States for one reason or another, whether they're flagged for being a creator, an adult creator, I should say, or for some other reason. Regardless, these people were signed models who can no longer participate in the industry hubs in the US. And that prompted me to start thinking about what could we do here in Canada where we can start creating our own hubs and connecting ourselves and relying just a little bit less on the major industry hubs that we're kind of forced to travel to and then sometimes can't.
Yeah.
So the Bullpen content series is a content house series that I'll host multiple times a year in different cities across Canada. The first one was in Calgary, it's a major success. We had some fantastic names, the biggest being probably Tony Genius, who had come up and participated in that weekend. And then the next one is going to be in Edmonton in November. So it's already gained a lot of steam, a lot of major press releases and industry buzz. And with any luck, maybe I shouldn't even say it, but with any luck, maybe some award nominations for some of the scenes. Who knows? Who knows? We'll
Let's
have
put
to wait
that
and see.
energy in the air. Let's make it
That's
happen.
right. That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm an empath, so definitely got to put that energy into the universe. I love that, and I love everything that's about, and what led to that. Because to be honest, I live here in the States, and I live here in the DC area. It's a struggle. It is a super struggle, and if I didn't have my daughter getting ready to go off to college right now, my wife and I would be moving up to Toronto because I have so many amazing Canadian friends. I love the area. Yeah, but I love that. And actually that
Toronto's
leads
fantastic.
me to the question. So the Bullpen, BullBossJosh, where did the tagline for your content or for your name as a, in this arena come from, and why BullBossJosh? I'm assuming Bullpen is in there with the bull
That's
pen
right.
and all that.
Yeah. It was just kind of a fluky thing. After that video went viral, I decided that I wanted to try to brand a little bit. And I have no prior experience in branding or marketing or advertising of any kind, other than just having a relatively good sense and feel for what might look good or sound good. At least that's what I've been told. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's their own worst critic, right? But like,
Yeah.
I just built this room like this past week, and my business associate, we did a Zoom call here just like this yesterday to test out how everything looked and felt. And he's just like, "Man, you've really got a great eye for this kind of stuff." I'm like, "Well,
Looks
thanks.
wonderful.
I'm
I
glad
love
it
it.
turned out."
Yeah.
But so kind of similarly with BullBossJosh, I know it's not maybe the greatest name in the world. It's a little bit hard to say for some people. But I was looking for something authoritative, of course, because when it comes to men in particular, which was my main demographic and still is my main demographic, I do play a more dominant and authoritative role in those sexual environments, whether it's in real life or for filming anything. And so like the boss kind of worked into that, and I think I was using some kind of like an online generator, like a name generator, just typing in kind of keywords and seeing what would come out.
Yeah.
And I think Bull Boss had come out of that, and I was like, well, I like that because I kind of identified as a bull in the sexual realm and in
Yeah, I
the
was curious if
couples
that was
realm.
like if in the sexual arena, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I directly identify with it because I loved in my real life and still do to this day. I enjoy playing with couples and experiencing a couple's dynamic and being
yeah,
the bull that they bring in.
yeah.
So it kind of worked really well. So there was this bull boss element, and Josh just rhymed. Josh just rhymed with it. It just had a flow to it, and then I thought, oh, I could use the Josh boss and have that as like my name, and then
Ah,
the
so
bull
Josh
boss
isn't your
Josh is
real name
my.
at all. It's just it rhymed with boss.
No, Josh is not my real name. No, no.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it has a good ring to it, and then Josh Boss is kind of the what I go with if I need a first and a last name for business purposes, right? So yeah, so that's kind of where that came from, and obviously the bullpen just was a good like sidestep naming scheme, I guess if you want to call it that, for the content house because I did want it to still be directly related to me. It is me. It
Oh yeah.
features me, and it's created and run and produced and edited and filmed and everything by me. So I definitely wanted a direct connection name wise. And it's just so that association is always there.
I dig that. I love that, and it all works together. I completely agree.
Yeah. Well,
So
hopefully.
in regards to business, so you started the bullpen. We were viral. You became Bull Boss Josh. You started up bullpen. You were already a sexually active person. You enjoyed sex, and now we're doing it. But like with a lot of my friends that were jealous of me when I was working in the industry, and still kind of dabbling. I know so many adult creators and content creators, and when it becomes work. Can you tell me when so like were you already a filmmaker in a way, planning, producing? That's a whole nother layer that a lot of people thinks, oh, I can just go have fun. No, it's if you
No.
love it, you gotta love it. And there's a lot of things you gotta learn around it. What was that transition like, and how much work was that? And do you still love it? Are you looking to hire some new people as things start to really pick up? What was that like? And just becoming a fully independent creator businessman in this industry?
It's a good question. I have never been asked that directly to talk about that before, but I can tell you that like everything I've done in this industry so far, I did it through trial and error. I have never had anybody kind of leading my hand. And it's all just been kind of the natural evolution of my career. It was, we need to do something bigger in this country and no one's doing it. So I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to figure this out and I'm going to host an event and I'm going to learn as I go. And a production house is not for the weak. It is not just as simple as finding some local people or some, associated talent, getting them together and having a fun weekend with no strings attached or whatever. It is absolutely stressful. So the first one was planned in about a month. I was able to get it all done in about a month. Tony Genius wasn't even coming until like 4 days before the event. I had to like fill a spot that a person had to leave. the roster, and I had to fill that spot. And so, like, that's just one of a million unforeseen issues that come up when you're planning an event with multiple people coming from multiple cities and sometimes multiple countries, all coming together to try to create this thing. And so I've got to deal with everything. I've got to help plan people traveling here. I have to book the Airbnb. I have to book the videographer. That alone takes forever because you got to get the right place and you got to pick the right people, and you've got to get the communications out there, and you've got to convince people that this is going to be a good idea and that you're going to be safe here. That when you come onto my set or my production Airbnb, that it's a safe environment. It's professional, even though like I don't have like a major industry production company yet, you know. So a lot of work goes into creating the necessary image to have people trust you.
Definitely.
There's a lot that goes into that. So, and that's just part of the pre-planning. And then there's everything that happens during. And, you know, admittedly, as I'm sure you've talked to other adult performers before, like, this isn't just a matter of coming onto set or into a scene that you're filming and rocking a boner and just having the time of your life. It isn't that easy for everybody. Exactly. Some people can do that. Some people can walk into a space and that's just, they're just built for this and there's no issues. But that's not the case for, I think, most people. I think it's probably safe to say.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And it happens to the best of us. And even in the first scene that we shot at the bullpen was a blow bang. It was kind of like a bisexual blow bang scene. And it was very, very late at night. And I'm a little bit older now. And so I've kind of got my routines and I'm set in my ways. And, you know, I'm a sleep princess. I'm in bed at 11 and I've got my pillows all around me.
Yeah.
You know, we're waiting for Tony to fly in. He doesn't get in. His flights are delayed and he doesn't get into like 1:30 in the morning. And like, I'm already delirious. I drove 7 hours to get to the Airbnb. I set up the house. I've been entertaining everybody the whole night.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted, to say the least.
Yeah.
So he gets there and we finally get started filming this thing and nothing. I got nothing happening. Yeah. Nothing. And I'm just like, I'll be right back, guys. Just try not to make it a big deal. And I run out of the room and I go into a space and I try to get into my head and I just try to find my way back there because it can be anxiety inducing. You know, all of a sudden it's time. Cameras are rolling. We have professionals here in this house, people that do this for a living, and you want to make sure that you do things in an efficient way, and that you don't want to let anybody down. And so that's a lot of pressure. And people think they can just walk into a set or that they could just be a porn star, and it's just people have no idea.
Exactly.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take on.
Yeah, I bring that up because I don't want to dissuade anybody, but I want to bring up the realities. And this is also why I commend so many people and why I love so many people in this industry, because it takes dedication. It takes a lot of hard work. And there's a lot of things that are all the way around the spectrum of this type of work that people just don't understand.
Like,
so thank you for sharing that, Josh.
No, of course. And don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously we do this work because we love the work.
Yeah.
But it is not like being with your significant other or with a hookup that you met that night alone in your room. It's not like that. And it doesn't feel like that. And you don't perform like that. It's different. It is real work. It is a real job. And if you're not in the right mindset, you're just not going to perform. It really is just that simple. So a lot goes into, you know, not just the pre-planning and the planning and the organization and the filming, but the performance. I'm doing all of it. And like like I said, now all of a sudden I've got to be in this room and I've got to perform after that day. And it's just tough sometimes. So for this next one in November, I've been planning this now since shortly after the last one wrapped up, which was in May. June, I really started sending out the invites to prospective performers and people that I was interested in having involved. And then, you know, people would catch wind that the invites are going out and I would start getting messages from others. And so that takes a ton of time. I've probably spoken to 50 to 100 people about this house, and I've got 8 right now, looking to have 10 for this next house. I don't like to overdo it. just because I am mostly a one person organization machine, and
Yeah.
I do have a limit, and there's only so much I can handle and take on. I still have a day job, I still have hobbies, some of them, nerdier than others. And so like I have to limit myself. So 10 people's good. I like to give a shout out to people like Max Magnum and Casa Max. That's another huge production house. In my opinion, it's the best I've ever seen. And I even contacted Max to get a few tips from him about some things to look out for when running a content house. But I mean,
Yeah.
he's got like 30 people that show up to this thing, and it's insane what they do over there. They're just an amazing team. So I aspire to be like that one day. And if I can grow my crew and get enough industry buzz around this Canadian machine we have going, hopefully I can be somewhere near Casamax and production companies like that someday.
Love that. Shout out to Casa Max, Max Magna.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's why I love how loving and giving everybody is to each other in the industry to help build each other up.
That's right.
Awesome. So I want to get to the nerdy stuff too, because I'm also looking at the time.
Yeah,
as we
absolutely.
said.
Yeah.
And thanks for bringing that up. And we're gonna get there, but because of what all of this that we just spoke of, what were some of the things you wish you would have known as this was coming along, like setting up social networking and managing all of that, and like you having to put the production hat on, editing. I don't know, once you have the video out, do you edit the final content? Just all of that, and just all the wheels in the cog to just make BullBossJosh and Bullpen, what it is.
Well, I think I did a pretty good job. Even in the 4 weeks that I had to plan the first one, I think I covered most bases. And a lot of that came down to having a conversation with Max about some of those things to look out for. Ultimately, really what it was being prepared for people to back out, because it's inevitable. And it's not necessarily because they're flaky people or anything like that. Sometimes it is that. And then other times it's, something comes up. It happens with regular collabs too. There's family emergencies, there's illnesses, there's whatever. Tony, like I said, had his flights delayed a few times that day. He might not have even made it that day, for all we knew. So shit happens. And so having backup plans for people was something I'm going to be doing for this next house that I didn't have at the first house. So I'm going to have a wait list. So it's not just about finding the 10 people that are going to be participating. It's about finding 3 to 4 more after that minimum who are ready and prepared to like pack their bag and get here quickly. People that want to participate. So I'll have that in my back pocket this time. We had 2 or 3 performers back out of the first house. One of them in the middle of the week, like I just had no communication with this person all of a sudden. And then in the middle of the weekend, they were like, oh, hey, sorry, some things came up. And I'm like, man, like that's just brutal communication. So I want to be a little better prepared for that this time. As far as editing and stuff, it's just about laying out those expectations ahead of time. So we had a videographer. She's amazing. Snockerl Pics. Shout out to Snockerl Pics on Instagram. Maddie Vale. I will use her for anything and everything I can for the rest of my life if she'll let me. I just love her. I love the way that she films. And, she laid out a general expectation before the house to everybody in our group chat. Like it could take 4 to 6 weeks to have everything edited. There's a ton of shit. Like there were 7 people that participated in the house and everybody got at least 4 videos, if not 5 or 6, depending on who they were and what they did. That's a lot of editing. And she didn't have to do it all, but everything that she filmed, she edited. That was part of the deal.
Sweet.
So I think going into it this time, it's just about laying out those expectations to everybody about how long it could take, but also that there's assistance there. And I now have a business associate. I now have an editor, people that I didn't have before that can help and expedite that process for everybody and just make things a little bit more efficient. People make this awesome content. They want to get it out and their fans are asking for it. Their fans are like, hey, where's the bullpen hot tub orgy? I want to see the hot tub orgy. Like that's all I kept hearing for like a month. It was like, I know you definitely do because it's fucking hot, but it's not ready. So it's just trying to help kind of make all of that more efficient. That was a bit of a learning thing for sure. And but we've got it dialed in already. This is only going to be the second house, but shit is dialed in and everybody seems to be very on board. We've had several meetings already, my business associate and I, and we're going to have this like as far as I can control it. We're going to have this as a well-oiled machine from the Friday through the Monday. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, rock on. I'm
Right.
putting that positive energy into the atmosphere
Yeah.
for you, Josh. I love that. I love that. And because I again, having worked in this industry, knowing so many people in it, a lot of the people that I talk to and that support are aspiring as well. And they want to know, oh, how can I do it? But I love to just push the reality, but also, it's also, there's love and you have people that will help support along the way. But
Absolutely.
do the homework. Do the homework. Don't
Oh,
think it's
yes.
that easy because it's not.
Even with the homework, it's not easy. You gotta be
Exactly.
ready. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was, if we can get into some nerdy stuff, Josh.
Yeah.
Again, you're killing it out here. Salute to you and the bullpen and everything you have going on and what you have planned coming up. And for everybody again also watching, I'll have the links and more information about Josh in the description below. Go check it out. Go support, follow, subscribe, show love, get the videos, check out all the things. BullBossJosh. But competitive bowler. Play
Oh, that was in there?
baseball.
Okay.
Shout out to my pal Erica. She gives me all the goods.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
Tell me about these other pastimes. So when you're not having fun making content for the bullpen, what are the things that bring you joy, spark your joy that you do to have fun and just out here in this world,
Sure.
up in Canada?
Sure. So number one for me is baseball.
Baseball, okay.
I'm a massive baseball fan. I'm a
What's the team?
massive
What's the team?
The team is the Toronto Blue Jays.
There it is.
That is the reason behind this tattoo. I mean, this tattoo technically is a cover up of an old shittier tattoo, but the old shittier tattoo was kind of in the shape of a bird, and I was like, well, I mean, it's a no brainer. I'm gonna get a
Dope
Blue Jay tattoo.
by the way. Love the tattoo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Toronto Blue Jays fan, and as a kid growing up, that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. I was one of those kids that spent his entire childhood outside throwing a tennis ball against the wall or throwing a baseball against the silo on the barn that I grew up in, or not, I didn't grow up in a barn that I grew up at.
Yeah.
Grew up on a farm. And so we had the silo, and I would just spend hours till I couldn't see the ball anymore. Just this was all I wanted to do. So, but as things unfolded in my life, that wasn't the path for me. But so I still to this day play competitive slow pitch, and that's where I'm at now. Like I said, I'm old now, so there's no more real baseball for me. It's slow pitch now.
Okay.
But it's highly competitive. I don't know what you know about the slow pitch world, but that shit is no joke.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends that play. We're all a lot older now. I'm in my 40s. But yeah, hey, it does get crazy competitive. Yeah,
it is, and I love it, and I travel for it. And part of living where I live now is kind of like a bit of a central hub in my province for
awesome.
slow pitch. So now I don't have to travel as much for it. And it was a lot of the motivation behind moving was that I did spend a lot of time not only trying to collab, but doing my hobbies. And so with
Nice.
competitive baseball and competitive bowling, which is gotta be the nerdiest thing I do. It's gotta be. I'm pretty sure everyone that bowls can admit that it's kind of like a nerdy hobby. And that's not like a bad thing. It's just
not at all. My mom was a professional. Well, not professional. She competed and has records. I was a military kid, and she competed on the base and would compete out. And her name is like at every bowling alley around the South and the Mid Atlantic. Oh, that's my mom. My mom was killing it.
That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Well, so you must be pretty good.
Well, no. That's all my mom.
She didn't teach you?
Right, but
She must have taught you something.
a little bit. But I was more so, to be honest. If there was, and I'm sure you know this, in bowling alleys, a lot of people smoke. I have nothing against smoke, but I do. I don't like the smell of smoke, and just being around that smoky alley, especially as a kid. And,
Wait, is that a thing still?
Concerned about my health. I didn't want to be in the bowling alley that long.
Oh, when you were younger, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure it was. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bowling's a big one for me. I love it. I love it and I hate it. Bowling's one of those sports where most of the time you don't do well. Most of the time you don't do as well as you want to. So bowling is one of those sports where you have to have an expectation that it's probably going to suck today, and it's probably going to be frustrating. And
Yeah.
so it's also a really long season. So it's like an 8 month season. I do 2 competitive leagues, and then I travel for cash tournaments all the time, and then try to compete in like provincial and national competitions when I can.
Okay.
And like, man, that is such a high stress environment. Like it's a roller coaster of emotion for 8 months. And usually by the time that season ends, I'm ready for baseball season. I'm ready to get the hell out of the bowling alley and not even look back until
Yeah.
September hits again and it's time to, and then I feel kind of the same way about baseball usually by the end of it. It's like, all right, I'm ready to get back into the bowling alley. So those are my nerdy sport hobbies.
I love it.
Um I for the longest time, so I play guitar. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
nerdy, but I play guitar for, I don't know, since I was 14. Very, very long time. I used to teach guitar,
Oh, wow.
and I've played in several bands, everything from pop to like hard death metal,
Love
and
it.
everything in between. And, it's one of those things I kind of grew out of over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. I just don't really play so much anymore. I don't really have time.
Okay.
I had to prioritize my time and my hobbies around this new life.
Understood.
And because it's not just the bullpen that takes up my time, but it's, I still now run everything myself on my OnlyFans page and my ManyVids and everything else, all my socials, everything.
Yeah.
So it's just, I just don't have the time. And when I do have a minute, usually it's to like doom scroll or watch a movie or a show or something to unwind at the end of the day. So I do miss guitar. I miss the music aspect of my life. I was really involved in high school, played trumpet, I played saxophone, drums, guitar,
Wow.
bass, the whole deal. And it was my whole life when I was in my 20s. It's all I did. I carried a guitar around with me everywhere I went. It was everything to me. Now they just hang on the wall, unfortunately, collecting dust, but they look cool. So,
Yeah,
and you know what?
definitely.
It's like I can still play. Like I still pick it up from time to time, and I tinker
Okay.
on it. But I'm rusty, and it's discouraging sometimes. I'll play it. I'm like, oh, shit, I can't play this like I used to. And then it's like, I'll hang it back up. I'll try again later.
Amazing, amazing. I love that. In regards to like bowling and baseball, and then even with music, so were you always somewhat of a is it extrovert, introvert? Like you have to be one of those in order to like, you know, because it's very public. You're mixing with a lot of different people. Did a lot of that help you as you got older and growing up, and then especially like in this industry when you meet all different kinds of personality types? How did that help in so many ways?
Well, you're exposed to a lot of stuff, or you're exposed to a lot
Yeah.
of different kinds of people in those hobbies, especially in the music world. And in playing in bands that tour around, you get to meet a lot of strange, interesting characters. But in all these hobbies and stuff, you're dealing with other people, and you're almost forced to be personable. I also took radio after high school, and I went to the National Institute of Broadcasting in Toronto, and uh, radio doesn't pay, so like in the end I kind of didn't really want to pursue it too hard.
Yeah.
But my old man does it, and it kind of came naturally to me. And so part what I took from that was like in these environments with baseball and bowling and music and in the adult industry is like I kind of take that interview style of communication and implement it into my daily life, because I don't know how I come off. I probably come off as sociable and maybe extroverted, but I feel very introverted all the time. Like I'm more than happy to just stay at home and work or do nothing. Um, but I can't because it's not my life, and I enjoy my hobbies and my work. So I'm always with other people and doing other things
Yeah.
with other people, even though I don't really love it all the time. So I think that interview style that I kind of learned and honed from my radio training really helps with being able to communicate effectively with people, get a point across, um, and be empathetic, because I've learned so many different personality types over the years that I kind of have a sense for people pretty quickly. Like I
Yeah.
can kind of tell right away how I need to act and how I need to talk in order to kind of like make the conversation more efficient, if that's the
Yes.
right way to put it. It's like I'm always being myself, but there's different roads you can take from point A to point B in a conversation, depending on how the person. I'm sure you know this. Being
Oh
an
yeah.
interviewer yourself, you kind of you get a vibe check on somebody. You're like, all right, I see how I can take this conversation, right?
Definitely. Yeah, you definitely have a presence, and you have a very soothing voice. I think that's why it's also why you're so good with what you do, and you found yourself succeeding in so many ways in so many industries as a baseball and player, a bowler, and now with the bullpen. Josh, you've got a very calming demeanor and somewhat authoritative, which you want it to be.
Oh,
but
good.
also
Oh, good. I'm glad.
sexy. I'll throw the sexy in there. It's a great package.
Well, I
And
do get it a
obviously-
lot with the voice. So I hear that a lot from my following and from my subscribers in particular, because when I do a lot of solo videos on my OnlyFans.
Okay.
And so a lot of the allure of my content is my dirty talk and my verbal and how I get fucking into it. You know what I
There you
mean? Like that
go.
kind of vibe. And so people really love I hear it all the time. People really love my voice, I guess, in the way that I do that. And it's funny because for me it's just always been natural. That's just how I act in a sexual environment. I'm just kind of authoritative, and my voice is people seem to naturally like in that environment. I guess I find it annoying as hell. Like I won't listen back to this interview for longer than like 10-20 second clips at a time before I'm like, oh, just cringing at the sound of myself.
I hear that. Awesome. So with these passions, and you're a content creator, when I always find these out, and I talk to other previous guests, sometimes merging the two. That's the one cool thing with this audio industry. They do a lot of. I recently had on Ariel Demure. She's an
beautiful.
amazing trans performer, beautiful porn. One of Erica's clients.
Dream
She's-
collab for me, Ariel. Dream
Oh,
collab.
Ariel
please,
is amazing.
please,
I love her.
please.
Yeah, you should definitely collab with her. But she's currently, when we last recorded, I think like a week or two ago, I think she's like in post now, but was doing the nanny. Remember Fran Drescher, the nanny? She's now doing her next project is her being the nanny, and she's so perfect as that.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah,
So I cannot wait for that, by the way. So
Yeah,
like
it's
with
gonna be
you
great.
as a guitar player, a bowler, a baseball player, I'm sure people want you to take your bat out. Well, they have. They love it. That's why they're subscribing. Have you thought about like maybe merging some of that? Is that something like you want to do? And what are some things that maybe you have planned out or that you want to talk about? Because I know you do want to also keep it a surprise. But yeah.
Well, I haven't really found like a really smooth way to integrate my hobbies into my content. Like I kind of do it like with pictures and some videos and stuff for my OnlyFans. Like I've had lots of pictures in my baseball outfits. I have a ton of different jerseys, like Blue Jays jerseys, and even my actual team jerseys. And the baseball pants with the jock strap and the high socks. Like that plays really, really well for content. So I take a lot of pictures with that shit on and off. And that works really, really well. And same with guitar. I have some with the guitar, a little bit harder to do, but I have some, nudes and stuff where I'm playing guitar, and it's a nice, fun, little element to the content. Bowling, not so much. It's just so
Kind of hard
because
to bring the bowling element.
you need a bowling alley. You got to be in a bowling alley. And I did try to do it. I had a photographer in my little town. And I knew the bowling alley people really well. And so I was going to ask them about using their space, without anybody else in there, and just having him come in and film me and take pictures of me, like basically just bowling in my underwear, like nothing too crazy, but just try to get some professional pictures of me in that environment. And and again, this is just my intuition, which hasn't really led me astray yet. As I envisioned it and pictured it more and more, it just didn't come off as sexy as I think it sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Don't think bowling's very sexy. I mean, people might argue that. I mean, I just can't. I couldn't see it working, and I was like, I didn't want to go through all this trouble.
Yeah.
Just to have this end up being a flop.
And
it wasn't important enough to me to get bowling content out there to integrate that. You know what I mean? So
I feel there's got to be a sexy way. You have a nice shaped head. Bowling balls are shaped nice. I don't know. There's got to be a way to like hold a ball. I don't know, straddle. I don't know. I
don't know if you got ideas. I'm ready to hear it for sure because I couldn't make it work. I couldn't make it work in my head.
Yeah.
But I don't have a whole lot else like in my personal life that I feel like that needs to be integrated into it because again, I'm just being myself sexually anyway.
Yeah.
And so as far as being themed or doing anything like that, I mean, I do kind of touch in it on it, like I said, with my baseball and the guitar stuff. But otherwise, I mean, there's nothing really big planned in terms of like real life versus industry integration, I should
Yeah.
say.
And sometimes you want to
And
keep it separate too. I understand that.
I really do enjoy keeping it separate.
Yeah.
I like when I go to the bowling alley, or I like when I'm in a baseball tournament that takes like 2 or 3 days. I like not thinking about this just for a couple of days. I
Right.
like, I'll
Yeah.
still check my phone and I'm on my socials in between games and stuff just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but I'm not editing and I'm not stressing and I'm not really thinking about it. When I'm out there in the field and guys are hitting 110 mile an hour baseballs at my face, I'm not thinking about, communicating with somebody from the bullpen or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's a nice escape. And it's the one of the few times I have to not think about this work
Yeah.
is out on the ball field or in the bowling alley where I'm stressing about my bowling game. I'll take that stress over the regular work stress because it is a nice change of pace and I can't get away from it otherwise. Because like I said, I do everything. And I have to be on the ball and all the time. I have to be on everything all the time or I miss an opportunity. And it's
Agreed.
and whether or not that's the right approach, it remains to be seen. It's something I talk with my therapist about a lot.
Oh
is
yeah.
my
Yeah.
my
You
obsession
have to
with
find time for yourself to separate from the work.
I have to force it.
Yeah.
I have to force it. And thankfully those hobbies do a really good job of kind of just naturally distracting me.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just when it's some things like that, certain things that as content creators, we're always trying to think of content, and sometimes people forget. Don't go with what you know sometimes, but then also there's that other double-edged sword to it that's where you find your happiness, and you need to separate some because we gotta separate when we can't
Oh
put
yeah.
So respect on that all the way.
Absolutely.
So Bull Boss Josh, the bullpen, you're killing it out here. 3 years into the game, I believe.
Yeah, about 3.5. Yep.
So what are some, to close this out a little bit? What are goals and what can we look for? What can we expect? And we're gonna subscribe, do all the things. Again, everybody, BullBossJosh, support my brother. He's gonna be killing it, and hopefully I can have you back when you're available again, Josh, so I can throw some virtual flowers at you and celebrate these wins.
Absolutely.
What do we have planned out that we can promote and talk about? And then again, links in the description below.
Sure. So bullpen content still releasing from the original house. I just released the video that I did with Tony Genius, which was like a milking table video. And those have been really, really popular for me on my page. And that's just, for those that don't know, it's just a table with a hole in it. And I lay on top of the table. And my dick goes through the hole. And whoever's on the bottom does whatever they want to me. And so those videos do really, really well. I've got a lot of like GayVN press on that. On those videos, and I love them. I mean, it's a great. I truly love making those videos. But those ones aren't work. Those aren't work.
I would imagine like that has to be. You get to have all the fun, and you're just chilling.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'll do it. I'll do it forever. As long as people
Hell
want to
yeah.
see it, I'll keep doing it. So
Love
that
it.
that just dropped with Tony Genius, and that was a fun one. Because he kind of surprised me in that one. But people can check out my Twitter page and my post about it. If they want to kind of know more of the details, and the press release information that's been out about it too kind of describes it in a little bit more detail. And then prior to that, we had the Hot Tub Orgy and the By Blow Bang released from the bullpen. And then I've got a boy girl coming out here right away. In fact, I got to edit that tonight. With a lovely Dallas Star, a performer from Alberta. And she was a part of the house. And we had kind of just like a straight up boy girl scene that was shot
Awesome.
a little more professionally. Not just like cameras on tripods. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time. But this one was shot a little more cinematically. And I really like to get a good mix, a good solid mix of content. I like to have my content with my boys and my milking table and my glory hole and that kind of stuff. But then I like to have those sensual cinematic scenes with girls or, a little more rough or whatever it is. But I like to mix it up. And same with the trans scenes. The trans scenes, again, I'm a little more dominant like I am with men. And I really like to have a persistent mix, like a concerted effort to have a mix of content one after another, never being the same thing. And so that's led me into doing a lot more straight stuff. Like I hadn't really done any straight content until about April of last year. I did my first video and it ended up being the best-selling pay-per-view video that I put out on my OnlyFans by a lot. And then I did a bi threesome scene in LA with the amazing Steve Ricks and Chloe Creams. And then that became the best-selling video I had put out at that point. And so the pattern was there. Obviously, I needed to start doing more and evolving a little bit more. So straight content became a thing that I started to put out more and more. And so that's just a part of what I do now. And people have that expectation about me now.
Yeah.
And they know there's going to be gay stuff. They know there's going to be straight stuff. There's going to be bi stuff. There's going to be trans stuff. And I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I can physically do it. So that stuff's all coming out from the bullpen. Now that I live in this better center, I'm already lining up more collabs. I have another boy-girl collab planned for September. And I've got another, I don't know if we're going to do a milking table or a glory hole or what we're going to do, but I've got a super sexy boy here in Edmonton. We got a collab planning here right away too. So there's lots in the works, lots coming up. I'm always actively working and trying to find something new or a new angle. So it's never boring around here.
I can bet. I can bet. Love that for you. Congrats on all that. You greedy motherfucker. I love it. Oh my gosh. I had it right on the tip of my tongue. Yeah. So you're killing it in Canada. You're gonna be killing it. Please come back, Josh. So I can throw some flowers at you. But also with you being in the game, have you done like the conventions, the AVNs, Exoticas? Do you do any touring like that can people maybe, say hi and give you real flowers in person?
Yeah. Well,
have any things that we can promote and tell people to check you out at?
Yeah, so keep an eye out on, so Canada's big sex convention touring event is called Taboo. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before, but they host some really large conventions year round, and the biggest ones being in the biggest centers, obviously Toronto, Vancouver. I think they do Montreal, but anyway, they do basically all the major cities: Edmonton, Calgary, I think Regina, and Saskatchewan, bunch of places. And so it's been pretty much all year round. And so I'm doing my best to participate in some of those events moving forward. So with the bullpen, we also have an associated podcast that's going to be coming out where we interview people at the house, and we get it's a little more of a darker angle on the adult industry, where we get people's stories that maybe aren't so great and things that have happened to them that weren't fantastic, to shed some light on the real side of this industry. And then we talk about how that molded them into who they are now, and the positives that came from it to top it off. And that's called The Hidden Pearl. That podcast will be coming out in association with the bullpen in November. And so Taboo here in Canada has caught on to that, and they kind of want to integrate that a little bit more into their conventions and their shows. Sweet. So we may be doing like live broadcasting from some of these convention centers and hosting podcasts there with some and trying to pull performers and attendees aside and just talking to them about their experiences and whatnot. So that's kind of an interesting thing that's been happening. So keep an eye out for, if you're in Canada, for the Taboo events, and just hit me up on my socials and I can let you know whether or not I'm going to be there. It's over the next couple of years is really when I'm going to start participating in those more and more. It just depends on my personal schedule.
Yeah.
And then in the past I've done, like I did X3. I was there with blossom.com. And they're like a promo website where you can buy promo from other creators. Yeah. So they brought me along with them to LA, and we did X3 leading up to the XBIZ Awards. And that was one of the most amazing times of my life, being a part of that. I've yet to do AVN, even though I've been nominated for GayVNs 2 years in a row, hopefully 3. And so I am planning on going this year. I have a buddy of mine who is a former friend of mine who's in the bullpen as well. And the plan is to go. Okay. So we'll see, like being in Canada and traveling to Vegas, I'm hoping for the best.
Okay.
I'm hoping that I don't plan this trip and that I end up getting turned away, because that is happening to us, unfortunately. It is a real issue.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can get there without any issues and participate not only at the awards but at the convention. And if that's the case, I mean, it'll be all over my socials, and I'll have the time and the place every day where I'm at, and people will be able to come out and hang out and take pics and talk and do the whole thing. So I'm really, really looking forward to that one, because that's the big one, right? AVN's is the big one.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. Love that. Love that. I've heard about Taboo. That's in the plans for me as well, to come check out and go to that show. So if I'm ever in those arenas or areas and you're there, we got to link up in person, do a live interview. I do
100%.
all the exoticas here in the States. And I'm planning actually this upcoming AVN too. So hopefully we can link up as well and talk in person there. But dude, as things come along, and I love the idea for your upcoming podcast. Right when it comes out, come back on so we could promote it. Anything you have,
Sure.
Josh, you have an open invitation. But I love
That'll go both ways when that gets launched. That'll definitely go both ways.
Appreciate you, Josh. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I love all of that. Please come back. And if you're ever around, yeah, let's link up. But salute to you, Josh. Congratulations on all of that. Everybody support BullBossJosh, the bullpen, all things in the description below. I am Tito P. This is After Dark Nerds, the Nerds After Dark show. Now that we're done, go look at all the things. Go check out the milking videos. Go look at all things BullBossJosh. Subscribe, do all the things. Josh, much love. Thank you for coming through. I'm Tito P. Nerds After Dark. We're out.
Thank you.
Nerds After Dark!
It's just a great time to hang out, meet people. I mean, I've had sex with everybody here already, so it's kind of like,
Not me.
Yeah, Nerds After Dark, coming soon.com. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not getting him beat up or me. Not doing it.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble.
No. But